Well, you've heard me talk a lot about orphans. For some of you, that is almost a strange word. Orphans. We're not talking about El Salvador or Bangladesh, where there's orphan children. There is orphan children here in America. And there is lots of them. You might not hear much about them because there's supposed to be a social system that cares for them, and there is. But let me tell you about the life of one. Just one. And there's thousands, possibly millions in America that are maybe not in this exact same circumstance, but have similar stories. Definitely millions over the years. So this little girl at 10 years old, 10 or 11, taken away from her mother and father. Now, if you have a mother and father, just imagine being taken away and never seeing them again at a young age, and then put into a stranger's home that you've never met before. You have no idea who they are, and you have no idea whether you're going to be safe there or not. So this one, at 11 years old, she's taken. She's put into this new home. The father there, who has other children and a wife, starts touching this orphan girl where he's not supposed to touch her. And she enjoys it because it's enjoyable. And she doesn't know what else to do because she's in this strange environment. Maybe she's been sexually abused before. I don't know that. She says no. But now there's someone making her feel good. And she starts to learn that she is now a wife to this man, because every day he makes her feel good, and somehow she makes him feel good in return. This little orphan girl at 11 years old here in America, Canada, United States, it doesn't matter which one we're talking about. I'm saying North America because we're brother states here. So for 2 years, this girl is molested daily. Then somebody finds out about it, and she gets moved to another location. Well, now she's learned that this new thing that she's experiencing comforts her. Probably yes. And so the next household where there's a man, a husband, realizes that this young girl has some needs, and he starts having sex with her. I don't know if it was daily, but certainly weekly, before she goes to school. Oh my goodness, you say. This is so strange, and it must be an odd, what's the word? Unusual, uncommon occurrence. This is not an uncommon occurrence. So now she has sex with this next foster father figure for a year until someone finds out, and she's moved from there. And the story goes on and on. Well, she had something great happen though. There's a victims fund or something. So when she was like 19 or 20, she got $5,000. Wow, that should fix it all, right? Paid some of her debts, maybe? Is that justice? That's what our justice system calls justice. Is that justice? The man had $1 million or $2 or $3 million ranch. He had horses and the like. Should not that man have had it taken away, or some of it, so that this young woman could now have daycare while she is educated, so that she can, even though she's now completely messed up emotionally, sexually, in every way, shape, and form, that she could at least have a chance at a real life, some education? That wouldn't have cost very much. Maybe $100,000 to give her an education and daycare while her children were being looked after. She could be educated. That would be a fraction of justice. To have the man's balls cut off and then the rest of that happen would be more correct justice, or to have him executed, because her life now is completely destroyed. Now she's 35 years old, working minimum wage jobs as a single mother to support her 3 children. Does that disgust you? It should. But it's not uncommon. We should be doing something about it, but we don't. That's why I'm imploring Bill and Melinda Gates or Warren Buffett, someone, to pitch in for the place I've been talking about called Israel. But call it anything you want. Call it a sanctuary city. It needs to be in a different country, and I've mentioned Costa Rica because it fits all the circumstance. Beautiful people, a good system of justice, medical provisions, but then once we invest a lot of money into this sanctuary city or string of villages, we will have our own medical system and our own justice system and our own education system. Not one that's deficient, but one that is probably far, far superior to a standard educational system in Canada or the States. It just needs an injection of funds. That's all. And then these orphans can be looked after. I use the expression once an orphan, always an orphan, because they're not just vulnerable when they're children. They continue to be vulnerable when they're adults. Oh, some have a good constitution, no chemical imbalance, and they bounce back and are doing fine now. They even get educated, and life goes on relatively normal. But that's not a common occurrence with orphans. And there are many. There are many that are taken away from their parents without good cause as well, but that's part of this failed system that we live in. But Bill and Melinda Gates, please listen. You have a foundation with billions of dollars injected into it. I hear Warren Buffett has pledged $36 billion to this foundation. You may be changing the whole world bit by bit. A lot of it is for women. And that is, I just want to hug you guys because that's extraordinary. It's brilliant. It's beautiful. I don't want to say there's a deficiency to it. However, that is progressively assisting the whole world to advance 1 inch at a time. That's not bad. That's very good. But we live in a world that its policies are against you. And it's a failed system. It's corrupt. And it is getting worse, not better. For you to inject a couple of billion, $2 billion will probably make a whole string of villages in a place like Costa Rica possible for these people to go right now. A prostitute forced into prostitution who doesn't want to be there needs you right now. Not the improved life of prostitutes that will be in 3, 4, 5, or 10 years better cared for. That prostitute that's, say, 13 will be dead by then. The junkie who was forced into it for some reason, probably an orphan, will be dead by then. People are dying. We can prevent that by making this place. And I would implore you to call it Jerusalem. Just for me, don't even include God in it if you don't want to, but try this proposal and you will see God's hand in it. It will develop, it will advance faster than you ever imagined anything possible with God in it. But if you don't happen to believe in God, then go ahead without his assistance, and he will add it anyway. But let's say there is no God. You still have nothing to lose. 2 billion, 1/50th of your income. You wouldn't miss it. I promise you wouldn't miss it. Warren Buffett wouldn't miss it. The guy from Facebook, I can't remember his name. I don't know if he's a philanthropist, but he wouldn't miss it. There's lots of you that wouldn't miss it, but could begin right now saving thousands and thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of lives. People that would be dead within the year. You can prevent that. I can't. I don't have billions of dollars. You can. I have the proposal, the framework. I can work with you on a constitution, a judicial system, an educational system. I'm willing to give my entire life to that. I just need an injection of cash. And what have you got to lose? A tiny percentage of what you own, and you would never miss it. We have politicians, and Hillory is probably going to do a great job. Daniel, if we're in this time period of the last days, then Daniel chapter 11 indicates that Hillory will be president. And she's probably going to do a great job. She has the education. She's been trained for it. Now, all this crap about Hillory and the emails and taking money from people that are bad, take the money from them. Bankrupt them if you can. Use the money to do something good. I don't see the problem with taking the money from bad people. Take it all. Okay, so you say she's greedy and she doesn't make good decisions and she's taking money and putting it in her pocket. Well, I heard she was broke when they got done the presidency. I think it was 8 years. She devoted her entire life during those 8 years. They don't work 3 hours a day. Her husband was working 20 hours a day. Even while he slept, he was still working. When you're in that office, you don't ever have time off. Even if you do have time off, it's not time off. You don't get a break. They still come to you with all the important things that are going on in the world. There is no break. It's basically 24 hours a day for 8 years. So, if they were broke, then give them a break, man. She deserves to have some cash. Millions, yes, absolutely. And she knows how to do her job, so she's going to be a fine president. But she can't change the policies. Even Bernie Sanders, who said all those things that he would do if he got in office, wouldn't be able to do it. It's fine to hope that you could do it and even try to do it. But the system is corrupt. Oh man, here's the Donald Trump talk. The system is corrupt. Everybody knows it. The whole system. It's bankrolled by rich people and people in power. And those people want to keep their power and they want to keep their money. Just like these trade deals. Every time we make a new trade deal, a whole bunch of pockets get lined. So we keep making trade deals. And we keep going broker. But the policies of the government are why there isn't money for having everything fixed. And everybody knows that. Trump, don't even get me started. I seen him in a black church swaying with the people who were real believers. Holy cow, did he look out of place. Trump, stay out of the church. Holy cow. Anyway, there's nothing Hillary can do about this problem, even if she wanted to. Let's just get her in office and let her look after things, but a little more Obama? Sure. What a freaking sweetheart the guy is. He's level-headed, he's intelligent. Why is everybody trashing on him? They say, oh, the economy's in tatters and all this and that. Well, what if what if he wouldn't have been president? What if somebody else would have? Like Donald Trump? Then we may be in an absolute disaster. But things are going fine. The man is brilliant, and he's a sweetheart, and stop complaining about him. Holy cow. He's done a fine job. And let Hillary get in there and try to fix some of the deficiencies that he admits are there. As he said, she can probably do a better job than him. She's more qualified. So let's let Hillary do it. But my friends, what I'm trying to say is, no matter how good Hillary is, she can't fix this. She can't. It's impossible. Bernie couldn't have fixed it. It's impossible. So let's make a nation, a small nation, but one where only people are there who love their neighbor. Those are the only people invited. People that will assist their neighbor. So when we bring the orphans, the broken down, the depressed, the crushed, the mentally ill, the other people that will be there on the other side, those that aren't broken down and crushed, will be people who want to help the broken down and crushed. And they're all invited, and they will come. Construction workers, professionals, doctors, educators, we will have all that. It's appealing to people to have a beautiful place with no monetary system, no corruption. So let's do it. Please, you guys, you rich folks, come on. It's got to be done. If you have any belief in the Bible at all, the Bible says that it will be there. It gives us the details of the place. So if you have any belief in God or any belief in the scriptures, let's get it started, because like I said, if you don't start it, someone else is going to. It's got to be started. So let's do it. Come on, guys. Let's save some lives. Let's show the rest of the world that this community that looks after the environment and looks after people can exist and be a model for the rest of the world to look at. Because if we don't, we're done. Why don't we talk about global warming anymore? Because it's too late. We're not going to change. A couple of light panels here and there for that kind of energy and a couple of windmills here and there isn't going to work. It's done. We're done. Unless, and if we make this community and show the world that it can be done and done successfully, which it can with an infusion of cash, then some will look on and change immediately. But we have to do it. Come on, guys, we have to do it. I'm imploring you. Let's get this started. Not tomorrow, today. For the orphan's sake, the one I told you about, she's still out there. She just lives up the way, struggling at a minimum wage job. And how many are there? There is an awful lot. And some are dying today. Some are killing themselves today. Some are addicted to drugs today. If we start this thing today, tomorrow they won't die. Come on, be a Christian. What does it mean to be a Christian? To be willing to kill yourself for others. So never mind dying for others, let's live for others. That's what it means to be a Christian. And if you super rich folks aren't going to do it, then let's do the Bernie Sanders thing, where 10 million other people put in their $27 worth. That's $127 million. It's done. We can start with that much. So please, come on, guys. Let's do it. I'm begging you, in the name of the Christ, please. Thank you for listening, folks. This is your friend, The Voice. And have a wonderful day.